contract short-term or long-term. The Cowboys made the playoffs this season, but Garrett only has 2 playoff wins for Dallas since becoming head coach in 2010. Jones was asked about the possibility of an extension earlier this week and said they've had a pretty good record the last few years, but it's, quote, not enough. The Cowboys did make a change on the offensive side of the ball yesterday, promoting Kellen Moore from quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Tells me that Jerry Jones, Garrett is not a very good coach. But Skip, wasn't it 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that Jerry Jones said that if Jason Garrett was a free agent, he'd be in very high demand? Now, wouldn't you want to tie up a coach in very high demand for an extended period of time?
Touche.
Exactly.
Good point. I'll
you
give you
know
that.
exactly what I'm talking about, Skip.
Yep.
The problem that, excuse me, Jones has is he wants all the credit and none of the blame for when they're losing. It's hard for me to believe that Jason Garrett has any say in the final 53. He has any say in free agency. He has any say in the draft. His thing is coach the team. Jason Garrett started going for it. When that's Sean McVay, that's Sean Payton, Ron Rivera. Those are the guys that gamble normally on 4th down, not Jason Garrett. Also, it is true, Zeke and Dak are coming to an end on their rookie contracts, and they've got 1 playoff win to show for it. Jerry Jones says, with the talent that I've assembled, we should be better. He said, when they beat the Saints, we're different cats.
Yep.
And lo and behold, they're the same cat. Pole cats. Long story short, they're skunks. They stink. Ooh. And I told you, Skip Bayless, and Jerry Jones, you're finally going to get your wish, Skip. Because I believe if Jason Garrett does not get this team to an NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, he's going to be out as your head coach.
I'm sorry, I'm still fixated on polecats, skunks. You went all the way to skunks.
Hold on. In the South, that's what they call a skunk, a polecat.
I realize that. But
your Cowboys stink.
So I just can't. I can't let this lay. So my Dallas Skunks,
really? Okay.
I don't know how they did this, but they actually went 10-6 and won the NFC East and won me 6 cases of Diet Mountain Dew. And wait, it's my turn now. You already talked. And beat your guy, walk it to him not once, but twice. And then beat Seattle in this thing called a playoff game, right? It's actually called a postseason game, and the Skunks skunked the Seahawks. I don't know how they did it. I don't know. It was an upset, I guess, right?
One?
Well, one's pretty good because there are a whole bunch of teams that did not win 1 playoff game this year. Whole bunch. I don't know the math on that, but it's the vast majority did not win 1 playoff game this year. Just one.
Of those teams that didn't win playoff game, which one is the Dallas Cowboys? Which one is the most profitable, the most recognizable sports franchise in all the world? Which one of those?
Look, I'm not the biggest Jerry fan when it comes to running the football team. He's the greatest promoter in the history of promotion. He's the greatest salesman. He's the greatest marketer. He's got the most valuable team in the world. He has. It's not America's team, it's the world's team. But I must remind you that Jerry Jones, the meddler, actually meddled the Cowboys in 2014 all the way to 12-4 and what should have been 2 playoff wins because Dez caught it. You know it and I know it. But that would have been NFC Championship game at Seattle where they'd already won in the regular season.
So that was an egregious call? Are you saying that was a blown call?
Well, yeah, that was a blown call because that went to replay, right? That one actually went, that was a went to replay. And they blew the replay. That's how bad that was because clearly they just didn't want Jerry Jones to advance.
You need to stop.
What did the ref rule on the field? Whoosh, right? Touchdown.
They said it was a catch.
Yeah, because he caught it. He made not 1 football move. He made 3 football moves, then took the ball in his left hand because he's left-handed and tried to slam it on the goal line.
And what did he come? He got on the intercom, After further review, the receiver went to the ground, failed to maintain possession of the football throughout the entirety of the act of catching the football. Therefore, the pass is ruled incomplete.
He had caught it, and he had run with it, and he was trying to slam it home for a touchdown. And the reason he didn't control it to the ground is because he didn't mean to control it. He meant to do what running backs get to do at the goal line, slam it on the goal line for a touchdown, break the plane. And it just broke my heart. But who cares about that? Onward and upward. So then Jerry Jones meddled his way in 2016 to a 13-3 record and a near playoff win. I don't know, it was Mason Crossbar making 2 intercontinental field goals. I don't know, and neither one of them had any chance of going in, and they both...
I'm near my hometown right now, Skip. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'm near there.
Yeah, sorry about that. But then this year, Jerry Jones meddled his way to a 10-6 record and a playoff win. So Jerry's done some right things, and he actually did one right thing back in 2013 because he did this same thing to Jason Garrett, who was nearing the end of his deal, and he just said, I'm going to make you play for a contract next year, which was 2014. They went 12-4, and he gave him 3 years. Did I love it? No.
Skip, think about what you just said. The whole while, you didn't mention Jason Garrett. All you said was Jerry Jones, which is the problem. And as Jenny read in the read-in, since 2010, they have 2 playoff wins. 2. Well, Jerry has 2 playoff wins.
Pretty good. So here's...
But you'd rather
really?
Pretty good, yeah. Is that skunk? Does that qualify as skunks? Oh, please.
For a team that's worth over for a team that's worth over $5 billion. For the most recognizable, the most profitable sports franchise in all the world, this is deemed unacceptable. This is what they call absolute failure.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you what the bottom line to this discussion is. There's one man who can change life in Dallas, and he just got elevated to offensive coordinator. And if he gets elevated to play caller, you are in big trouble next year because Kellen Moore is the next Sean McVay. Book it. Book it. Remember I said this. Kellen Moore is the next Sean McVay. But he has to be given the authority and the autonomy to call his plays, to make his own game plan. Jason can have some input. They got John Kitna now as the quarterback. He can have some input. But Kellen Moore has offensive brilliance about him, which is why Dak all this week at the Super Bowl was raving about his connection to Kellen Moore.
What's he supposed to say?
No, well, he could just be half-hearted about it and say, we'll see how it works out.
They don't do that.
He loves him. Trust me on this. I know from the inside. He loves Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore was a coach's son growing up. His father was his high school coach. And at age 5, he's drawing up plays. He's got that little genius thing going.
I know,
he has to be
and I saw him run those same plays he drew up at 5 in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
you watched them too.
Nobody was even playing. There wasn't even a football game. I didn't even know what it was.
Nobody wants to tackle it. It took fourth quarter, 3 minutes left in the ball game on 4th down for the NFC. Plays being called by Kellen Moore, team being head coached by Jason Garrett to get the ball in the end zone. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not ashamed of myself, but I'm ashamed of Jason Garrett that he's still afloat as the head coach.
What?
And once upon a time, he called the plays for this team, so he's going to try to reinsert himself, I'm sure, with Mr. Jones and try to become the play caller again, and it cannot happen. Jason Garrett is no more than a head cheerleader. That's all. He is the smiling figurehead of the franchise. That's all he is. He's the figurehead head coach. And as long as he just keeps smiling and clapping, because he's Coach Clapp, stay out of the way and let Kellen Moore call the plays. Why have the Rams risen this year? Because Jared Goff, who's not a great quarterback, but he can be pretty good. It's because he believes so strongly in what Sean McVay tells him in his ear. And so will Dak. If you let Kellen speak in his ear and tell him with conviction, this is what we're going to run and this will work, because it's how you hear it in your ear. It's how much you believe in the play call. I don't think half the time Dak really believed in what Scott Linehan was saying in his ear. But in this case, he loves Kellen Moore and he's going to trust what he hears.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, how much say do you think Sean McVay has on the final 53-man roster?
I don't know, honestly. Les Snead's obviously in control of that. I'm sure there's input.
I believe he has say. I believe he has final say on the final 53.
Yeah, I think Les Snead did a lot of good things, though. I think he's made the master.
I got no problem with that. But Les Snead does a lot of good things, and then he gets the hell out of the way. He doesn't constantly try to insert himself like Jerry Jones does. Because here's the thing, Skip. If Jerry Jones believes that Jason Garrett has underachieved, underperformed, what other business will Jerry Jones believe the guy that's in charge has underperformed still would have his job now?
He wouldn't. Well, at least Jerry said yesterday, he said, I'm not going to extend him. At least that's a start. So he's, again, coaching for his job next year. But the key is Jerry going to let him call plays again? Kellen Moore will change life in Dallas, Texas, because Amari has already started to change life. And if you give Dak and Amari an offseason and a training camp with Kellen Moore overseeing, great things will happen. Not good things, but great things. And you are going to be eating lots of Monday crow. You're going to be losing
Go walk into him and be back by then. We'll be straight.
Yeah. Who will be, what would you say? Who will be back?
Walk into him.
Walking
out.
I forgot all about him.
So did I.
Wait,
you ain't forget about him.
Wait, is he going to be healthy next year? He's got
it's
a knee,
fine.
it's a back, it's a shoulder.
You just worry about those underperforming, underachieving Cowboys.
All right, Shannon, I'm gonna cut you off. We got to get on to something important here. Last week, Skip had a little Twitter beef with Jet safety Jamal Adams.